Tonight, 48 hours to go. The final push for votes.
Hi, Missy. Nice to meet you.
A new poll puts Huckabee and Obama out in front.
We stand on the brink of doing something very, very special right here in Iowa.
But in Iowa, many don't make up their minds until caucus night. I'm Harry Smith. Also tonight, unthinkable acts of violence in Africa. Reports of a mob torching a church, killing 50 people inside, including children. Riots erupt throughout Kenya amid allegations of genocide. And a custody battle over two loved ones.
We love them unconditionally.
A question for the courts. Should animals have rights like children?
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Happy New Year. Katie is off. In just 2 nights, all eyes will be focused on a small group of voters gathered throughout the state of Iowa to cast the first real votes of Campaign '08. And a new poll by the Des Moines Register shows Democrat Barack Obama widening his lead over Hillary Clinton to 7 points, 8 points over John Edwards. Tonight, our team of correspondents is following the candidates in the final push through Iowa. We begin with Dean Reynolds in Des Moines covering today's Democratic frontrunner.
The poll out today is the best news Barack Obama has had in days, and it really could not have come at a better time.
I think 2008 is going to be a good year. That's what I think.
With just 3 days before the caucuses, Obama was pleased but cautious.
The polls look good, but understand this. The polls are not enough.
That's because polling caucus goers is an inexact science.
I'm not saying that you're committing the caucus.
But the Des Moines Register speaks with a persuasive voice.
Hi, this is Tony from Barack Obama's presidential campaign.
Galvanized volunteers at Obama for President were on the phones and social networking websites, mining for supporters and those undecideds in the rough. The Register poll found 34% of Democrats could be persuaded to change their minds. Retired teacher Sarah Denning fits that description.
I'm torn between all of them. I think this is a field of many, many good candidates.
But there she was at an Obama rally, grabbing a few precious moments and...
Come on, what more do I have to do?
Bruce Bawden is another one. So undecided he went to 2 Obama events in one day. He's still not sure.
Might you do 3?
No, I'm going home after this.
While the Register poll shows that 1/3 of voters who have made a choice but may switch, 6% say they've made no choice at all. And while that sounds small, in a neck and neck and neck race, Obama has to keep courting them. Dean Reynolds, CBS News, Des Moines.
Indecision in Iowa will likely last right up to caucus time. Jim Axelrod is with the Clinton campaign in Council Bluffs, where they're not conceding anything. Jim?
Well, Harry, with the caucuses now the day after tomorrow, this headline, Obama leads into the final stretch, is not what the Clinton campaign wanted to see at all on the cover of Iowa's biggest newspaper.
I am feeling great.
Not that Hillary Clinton or her aides would demonstrate the slightest sign of concern.
On the same day, 2 polls come out that also show her leading.
But if the Clinton camp was troubled by the poll Iowans were devouring today, Linda Emerson offered the kind of story the campaign would take comfort in hearing.
I was part of the poll that produced the headline.
Called by the pollsters Sunday night, she'd already backed away from what she told them by this morning. And in Iowa, she's not alone.
When you were polled, did they ask you who you support?
Yes.
And who did you say?
Obama.
And are you going to caucus for him?
Since then, I've heard Biden and now Hillary. I'm going to hear Edwards, and I'm not so sure.
And you were part of the poll.
That's right.
For what it's worth, this time 4 years ago, the Des Moines Register's final week poll had John Kerry in first, John Edwards in second, and Howard Dean in third. And that's exactly the way they finished. Harry?
Jim Axelrod, thanks. As for the Republicans, the Register poll has Mike Huckabee leading Mitt Romney by 6 points, virtually the same lead as 1 month ago. John McCain has now improved to 3rd place in Iowa. Nancy Cordes is in Des Moines covering the Huckabee campaign. Nancy?
Harry, here at Huckabee headquarters, the polls are a piece of welcome news after a tough day yesterday.
Looking to get back into rhythm after hitting a sour note yesterday, Huckabee freestyled on the bass guitar before a packed Elk Lodge in Cedar Rapids. Huckabee concedes he may have sent a mixed message yesterday when he showed the press a negative ad against Romney after swearing off negative ads.
Do you regret showing
it? At the time, I thought it was an important way to prove that we actually had it. Probably if I had it to do over, I wouldn't have shown it.
The flap didn't seem to bother his supporters/concert goers. Nearly everyone in his evangelical base uses the same word to explain why they're voting for the former pastor and governor. That word is values.
Honestly, we're value voters.
Faith and values. I mean, he's an honest straight shooter.
I'm going to vote for who I really want to be president instead of who I think can be president. And in doing that, I think it'll actually happen.
Huckabee insists his support is broader than just evangelicals, pointing to his strong support in polls in states where there are fewer evangelicals, like Michigan and Delaware. Harry?
Nancy Cordes, thanks. Chief among Huckabee's opponents in Iowa, Mitt Romney. Bill Whitaker is with his campaign in Des Moines. And Bill, if Romney is nervous, he's sure not showing it.
Harry, they used to call Hubert Humphrey the happy warrior. Now I think Mitt Romney is vying for that title.
Good to see you this morning. He's trailing Mike Huckabee in the Register poll, right? So why the smiles?
It's going to be a nice close race by the time it's finished, and I'm planning on doing real well here. I hope to come in first.
The poll shows the once meteoric Huckabee surge flattening, other polls even reversing around the time Romney went on the attack.
Huckabee, soft on government spending.
And while they'd never call them attacks, Romney insiders say the ads are working, getting voters to question Huckabee, leaving the candidate discombobulated.
If it hurts me, it hurts me. That's what I've decided to accept, that yes, it's hurt me.
Now Romney is going nice.
I spent my life tackling big problems.
It's a gamble. Iowans accept sharp elbows on the court, but the political arena?
Iowans do not like negative campaigning.
Well, I think it's just part of politics.
And with Mitt Romney's campaign.
A bigger part of politics? Organization, which Romney has in spades. Outreach.
Are you still planning on attending the caucus on the 3rd?
Phone banks, data banks, the best money can buy.
Well, have a good day.
And their organization, they say, worth up to 5 points in the polls. Harry?
Bill Whitaker in Des Moines tonight. Thanks. Big organizations require big money, and 2 Democrats are reportedly setting fundraising records. That leads off tonight's Campaign 08 notebook. The official numbers aren't in yet, but aides to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton say each candidate raised more than $100 million in 2007. That is unprecedented before the first primary. Meanwhile, it's not an endorsement, but Democrat Dennis Kucinich is telling his supporters in Iowa to back Barack Obama should they not be able to muster enough votes for him at their local caucuses.
Non-stop campaign.
John Edwards embarked today on a 36-hour non-stop marathon across Iowa. He plans stops in 15 cities, including rallies in the middle of the night, ending in Des Moines tomorrow night. Overseas now to the crisis in Kenya. For decades, that country stood out in volatile East Africa as relatively stable. Now many fear it's descending into mob rule. Today in Western Kenya, reports of a massacre in a place where people thought they had sanctuary. The latest now from Elizabeth Palmer.
The new year dawned violent and ominous in Kenya, where protests against the results of the election last week have grown into full-scale ethnic rage. Hundreds of acres of farmland have been burned, farm after farm torched. Thousands of terrified people fled from their homes, seeking safety from looters and vigilantes.
I am here because my house is being burnt. Nowhere I can stay.
In Western Kenya, angry mobs went on the rampage. There are reports that a church filled with refugees near the town of Eldoret was doused with gasoline and set alight. As many as 50 people, some of them children, died in the fire. The disputed election has highlighted simmering ethnic tensions. Mwai Kibaki, a Kikuyu, was declared president in spite of reports of vote rigging and fraud. That infuriated supporters of the opposition leader Raila Odinga from the Luo ethnic group. Rival political gangs clashed in the cities. More than 200 people have been killed.
We now see the escalation towards a full-blown civil war.
So far, riot police in the capital, Nairobi, have managed to corral the warring mobs inside the slums. And both the president and the opposition have publicly called for an end to the violence. But it may be too late. The opposition leader Odinga has accused the president of genocide and called for a mass protest on Thursday, which will rally hundreds of thousands of his angry supporters. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, London.
Also in Africa, a U.S. diplomat was shot and killed early today in Sudan. 33-year-old John Granville, a native of Buffalo, New York, worked for the Agency for International Development in Sudan. U.S. officials do not know a motive whether Granville may have been a political or terror target. In Pakistan, one of Benazir Bhutto's closest aides said today that at the time she was assassinated, Bhutto was getting ready to give 2 U.S. lawmakers a report accusing President Pervez Musharraf's government of planning to rig the upcoming election. Now that vote is being pushed back. From Islamabad, Chief Foreign Correspondent Lara Logan.
Benazir Bhutto's party want Pakistan's parliamentary elections to go ahead as originally scheduled on January the 8th. But that is not going to happen. And a senior party leader told CBS News that any delay will bring more anger and more protest from Bhutto's supporters. But Pakistan's Election Commission has already decided to delay the vote, and they're expected to announce a new date tomorrow. Meanwhile, the government still has no idea who carried out the assassination. And in newspapers across Pakistan today, pictures of the suspected gunman and the suicide bomber, with a substantial reward being offered for any information that leads to their identities. Lara Logan, CBS News, Islamabad, Pakistan.
There's more CBS News ahead. Up next, the new year in Iraq. Signs of progress after the deadliest year yet for American soldiers.
The countdown is on in Iowa. The caucuses, the first vote that counts. Katie Couric is live from Des Moines. Campaign 08 coverage begins tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
This is the way Afrin gets rid of your congestion.
You're like this. You use Afrin once,
And you're like this all day. Nothing relieves congestion better.
so why suffer?
When there's the 12-hour relief of Afrin. Amazing.
Harry is a scratcher who keeps getting scratched. He needs maximum strength Scalpicin, not a shampoo. Its clear formula stops scratching with the itch medicine dermatologists recommend. Maximum strength Scalpicin, the clear solution to a healthier scalp.
My family really keeps me on the go. That's why it's important to have strong, healthy bones. So I treat my osteoporosis with Boniva, just 1 pill a month to help prevent fractures. Studies show after 1 year on Boniva, 9 out of 10 women had better bone density. I know I did. And unlike weekly treatments like Fosamax, you only need Boniva once a month. With all I want to do, I'm glad Boniva is working for me.
You should not take Boniva if you have low blood calcium, severe kidney disease, or cannot sit or stand for at least 60 minutes. Follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Boniva and tell your doctor if you experience difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
Look, I've got this one body and this one life, so I'm doing my best to build strong, healthy bones. It's too important, so don't wait another week.
Ask your doctor if Boniva is right for you. And for a free trial offer, call 1-800-4-BONIVA. There's only one.
If you have a history of smoking and breathing problems, it could be COPD, which includes chronic bronchitis, emphysema, or both. Discover Spiriva, the only once-daily inhaled maintenance prescription that treats both forms of COPD. Spiriva significantly improves lung function to help you breathe better for a full 24 hours, and it's not a steroid. Spiriva is not a rescue inhaler. Tell your doctor about your medicines, even eye drops, and illnesses like glaucoma and urinary or prostate problems. These may worsen with Spiriva. The most common side effect is dry mouth. Others include constipation and problems passing urine. In the event your breathing suddenly worsens, your throat or tongue swells, you get hives, vision changes, or eye pain, stop taking Spiriva and call your doctor. Spiriva is one of many treatment options to consider with your doctor. So make a habit of breathing better with Spiriva.
A suicide bombing in Baghdad this morning shattered what had been the calmest New Year's Day in Iraq since the war began. More than 30 people were killed when the bomber struck in eastern Baghdad at a funeral for a retired Iraqi army officer, the victim of a car bombing last week. Today, the Baghdad government reported more than 18,000 Iraqis were killed in violence this past year. And after nearly 5 years of war, 3,904 American troops have been killed in action in Iraq. But as a new year begins, overall violence is falling, and hope seems to be rising. Correspondent Jeff Glor reports from Baghdad.
When President Bush announced plans for a surge last January, the violence was bad and only getting worse. But with the help of 30,000 extra troops, General David Petraeus focused on securing the capital city and getting troops to interact with Iraqi police and neighbors. By the time Petraeus testified before Congress in September, there were clear signs it was working. Iraqis who left began to return.
I hope that the people of Iraq can live in hope, and it seems that they've lost their ability to dream. I just want the people to feel as if they can dream again.
December 2007 became the second safest month in Iraq since the American-led invasion began. 23 members of the military died. Compare that to 112 in December 2006. Still, because the first half of the year was so bloody before the surge took hold, 2007 still goes down as the deadliest year of the war. 901 soldiers died in all.
We realize that the security in Iraq is very fragile, very tenuous, and that at any moment indiscriminate attacks could occur.
For them, critical questions have yet to be answered. Will weapons from Iran once again flow across the border? Will Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr and his powerful Mehdi army extend their ceasefire? Will Iraqi politicians make any progress? But maybe the biggest question of all is this: what happens when the surge is over? U.S. forces are scheduled to return to pre-surge levels by July, and the military's hoping less troops does not mean less progress. Jeff Glor, CBS News, Baghdad.
When we come back, an emotional custody battle that's gotten a little hairy.
When you're on treatment for rheumatoid arthritis, everyday things can still be tough to handle. Can you pull this? Fasten this? Grasp this?
Oh, yes, I can.
What about you? If you think your treatment isn't helping enough, ask your rheumatologist about Orencia. It's an RA treatment that's proven to make a difference for many patients who weren't helped enough by other treatments, relieving the symptoms of RA and controlling the advance of joint damage.
Do not take Orencia with another biologic medicine for RA due to an increased risk of serious infection. Orencia can cause serious side effects, including serious infections. Rare cases of certain cancers have been reported. Tell your doctor if you are prone to or have any infection like an open sore or the flu, or if you have or had COPD, a chronic lung disease. Orencia may worsen your COPD.
Talk with your doctor about Orencia. Why wrestle with the little things you can't do if you could be saying, "Oh, yes, I can."
Steaming. It's never been used like this before.
When Healthy Choice challenged us to create the freshest tasting meals possible, we used a new way of steaming to create cafe steamers.
This new and unique steam cooker from Healthy Choice
lets you lock in all the naturally fresh flavors by steaming it yourself. For juicy chicken, crisp vegetables, and firm pasta.
And you pour the sauce.
For restaurant-inspired recipes steamed fresh in your microwave, try new Healthy Choice Cafe Steamers. It's all about the choices we make.
Glad Force Flex trash bags are so strong. One bag is all you need to pick up the pieces from even your biggest disasters.
Where do you want the piano?
Get Glad Force Flex and find out why 7 out of 10 consumers prefer it over the other leading brand. Would you like to win $5,000 a week for life?
You got to be kidding me.
You can with the new Win for Life Super Prize from Publishers Clearinghouse. Win, and it'll be like getting a prize patrol visit every single week for the rest of your life.
This is incredible.
Enter at PCH.com.
And I think you're wasting your time on the computer.
Or by mail. And you could win $5,000 a week every single week for life.
At the stroke of midnight, a host of new laws took effect, including the first ever airline passenger Bill of Rights in New York State. From now on, airlines have to provide food, water, and restrooms to passengers who are stuck on the ground for more than 3 hours. New Hampshire became the fourth state to allow civil unions, joining Vermont, Connecticut, and New Jersey. The law gives same-sex couples virtually the same rights as married couples. And in Arizona, businesses that knowingly hire illegal immigrants could lose their licenses. It's the toughest law of its kind in the nation. A legal battle playing out in federal court in Oregon since last spring could soon result in a landmark custody ruling. It doesn't involve children, but rather two chimps and what legal rights they might deserve. Richard Schlesinger has their story.
Do you want one of these? Oh, that's what you wanted.
It's not hard to see why people would fight over chimps.
Catch it, Jackson. Oh, good
boy. Especially these chimps, Jackson and Emma, who've stolen hearts and broken hearts at two sanctuaries.
We love them unconditionally, and they teach me things every day.
Paula Muehlner runs one of those sanctuaries in Bend, Oregon. She took custody of the chimps from this refuge in San Antonio after Texas authorities charged the animals were neglected, living in overcrowded, bug-infested cages. And now she's fighting to keep them.
They're like children, and to see them in such deprived and neglectful situation, it's heartbreaking.
Lawyers are looking at cases like this to determine not just who's right and who's wrong, but who has rights. Specifically, whether animals like Emma and Jackson or dogs and cats have rights. Legal rights that courts should protect. Legal rights for animals? It's not such a radical idea anymore. The nation's top law schools like Columbia, Harvard, and Yale are actively discussing ways to expand animal rights.
What did you think of the materials on veterinary malpractice?
Paul Waldo teaches at Yale.
Do you think in our lifetime we'll see animals get rights that are protected in courts?
Yes. Whether or not it's a particularly immediate breakthrough, it takes another decade, the point is it's clearly coming.
But the law has not yet caught up with the emotions in Emma and Jackson's case.
There you go.
Since that rescue last spring, the Texas facility has had a change in management, the state's charges have been dropped, and Stefan Tello is the new man in charge. He denies any animal was mistreated, but he's building a shiny new home for Emma and Jackson, and he says that's proof he's ready to take them back and deserves to.
It's time for Emma and Jackson to come home. This is their family. We are their natural home.
The chimp's fate is in the hands of a federal judge. One day, the law may require judges to consider what animals want in cases like this. But for now, the judge will likely have to decide this case based solely on property rights. Who owns Emma and Jackson? Not who cares most for them. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, Bend, Oregon.
Next, it gives new meaning to the term political theater. Caucus, the musical.
Introducing a world first, Braun Pulsonic. Thousands of microvibrations help expose and shave more hair with every stroke for Braun's most thorough shave ever. Braun Pulsonic, voted best electric shaver.
Forget hair color that looks like one tone. Get 3 tones built in with Nice and Easy. Incredibly natural-looking color with highlights, dimension, and shine like never before. Nice and Easy with 3 tones built in from Clairol.
Cholesterol. It can come from a casserole, creamy tuna and peas, and your grandmother, Louise. From Mom's lasagna, extra cheesy, and your pop, Petey. A healthy diet is important. When that's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Cholesterol comes from two sources, food and family. Vytorin treats two sources. Only Vytorin helps block the absorption of cholesterol from food and reduces the cholesterol your body makes naturally. Vytorin was also proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Tell your doctor right away about unexplained muscle pain or weakness, which may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Certain medicines or foods may increase your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. So eat right, stay active, but if that's not enough, ask your doctor about adding Vytorin, the only medicine that treats the two sources of cholesterol.
Yeah, I tried it all, from eating absolutely nothing but soup to eating absolutely nothing. At one point, I even hired a life coach. Then one day it hit me. The person who knows the most about how I want to live is me.
South Beach Living brings you food that fits your healthy lifestyle. Delicious entrees, bars, and wraps made with whole grains, protein, and fiber. And everything tastes so good, you'll wonder what it was you were doing before you started living. Try living. South Beach Living.
So this is the first room that I've worked on that I really wish nobody had to use, because so many heart attacks can be prevented. Her husband didn't expect to have a heart attack, but you can take action to stay out of this place. Bear aspirin, taken regularly, cuts the risk of heart attack by 32%. So please, talk to your doctor about Bear.
Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Bear aspirin. Expect wonders.
A couple of Tennessee lawmakers head to Iowa this week to help an old friend. Fred Thompson has slipped in the polls. Can he recover in time for Thursday's caucus? Details next.
Iowa is famous for more than the caucuses. For one thing, the legendary Broadway show The Music Man is set in Iowa and written by an Iowan, Meredith Willson. Now there's a musical review based on the caucuses. Seth Doan with more on this piece of political theater.
Iowans are lining up for a caucus.
That's when you know it's time to go to Iowa.
Caucus, the musical.
Enjoy the show.
A few days before the real thing, they're taking a break from the constant campaigning to watch a play about, well, constant campaigning.
Blah, 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 blah.
At the center of this story, the perfect Iowa farmer and his undecided family.
Iowans know well that a candidate will sell his soul to earn one measly caucus vote.
On stage, actress Julie Bell plays a liberal candidate vying for votes. But backstage, she admits she hasn't even picked a party.
And you won't decide that until the night of the caucus?
Probably because I'm so undecided.
Anything for a vote. Bill Bradley washed my pickups.
And it's kind of funny when you watch the Iowans watch the play, they light up and like, yeah, I experienced that. Yeah, I know that guy.
Why sail to Key West on your boat when you can earn another vote in Iowa?
Ripped from today's headlines,
I'm concerned about the moral fabric of our country.
But written 4 years ago.
Kick!
Many of the things that I wrote about that were fictional have now come true, and we're loving it.
Playwright Robert Ford.
We hit everybody, and we hit everybody hard.
And say, I declare.
It's a lighthearted look at a serious subject with a not-so-subtle takeaway.
Get off your sorry and vote.
Seth Doan, CBS News, Des Moines.
That's the CBS Evening News. I'm Harry Smith. Tomorrow, Katie Couric anchors our campaign coverage from Des Moines. Happy New Year. I'll see you tomorrow on The Early Show.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Prilosec OTC. Want to keep your heartburn from coming back? Try Prilosec OTC, the only OTC heartburn remedy that works to block heartburn before it begins. For 24 hours with one pill a day. The round-the-clock heartburn blocker.
I'm Nick Barris. It's not how they plan